Good morning, students. This is your OC teacher, Bina RAIKAR. We have already started with OC lectures. I have started with the first chapter, Principles of Management. Earlier, I had explained nature of principles of management and significance of principles of management. Today, I am going to explain you the theories related to management. Now this year we are going to read about two management thinkers. The first one is Henry Fayol and his administrative theory of management, and the second one is Frederick Taylor and his scientific management theory. Now I'll start with explaining Henry Fayol's administrative theory of management. But before that, let's see something about Mr. Fayol. Henry Fayol was a French mining engineer who turned a leading industrialist and a successful manager. He started his career as a mining engineer in a French mining company and rose to the position of the chief managing director. After conducting many experiments and observations in organization, Fayol proposed 14 principles of management, which are explained in his famous book General and Industrial Administration. Due to his contribution in development of managerial thoughts, he is called as the father of modern management. Now let's study his 14 principles of management. The first one is principle of division of work. Second one, principle of authority and responsibility. Principle of discipline. Principle of unity of command. Principle of unity of direction. Principle of subordination of individual interest to organizational interest. Principle of centralization. Principle of remuneration. Principle of scalar chain. Principle of order, principle of equity, principle of stability of tenure, principle of initiative, and the last one, principle of spirit de corps. Now, let's understand the first one, principle of division of work. According to this principle, the total work should be divided into small subparts. The divided work should be assigned to different employees as per their capacities, skills, and interest. Fayol says division of work leads to specialization. The second one, principle of authority of responsibility. When the work is assigned to a person, he should be given proper authority to carry out that work. For example, a manager should be given authority to take managerial decisions on his own. Then only he can function properly. However, authority is always accompanied by responsibility. When a person is given authority, he should also be held responsible for the same task. Authority and responsibilities always go hand in hand. If a manager is given the authority to complete a task within a given time, he should be held responsible if he does not do that in time. The third one is principle of discipline. According to Fayol, discipline is the most essential thing in the organization. Employees must obey and respect the rules that govern the organization. Discipline helps to achieve the goals set in the organization. Good discipline is a result of effective leadership. For that, there should be a clear understanding between the management and workers regarding the organizational rules. Fourth one is principle of unity of command. In an organization, every employee should receive orders from one superior only. This is applicable from top management to lower level management. The principle of unit of command tries to avoid confusion. If an employee receives orders from more than one superior, he will be confused and he will not be able to work with concentration. It helps in managing conflicts and solving disputes among people in the organization. The work will not be performed properly, whereas if you get orders from one person, he will finish his work accurately. The next one is principle of unity of direction. Unity of direction explains about a group working in the same objective under the direction of a single person. According to this principle, each group in the organization should have the same objective. The group should be directed by one manager using one plan. Thus, this principle explains about group working in the organization. Next one is principle of subordination of individual interest to organizational interest. According to this principle, the interest of an individual must be given less importance than the interest of the whole organization. While taking decisions in the organization, the manager should always consider the interest of the whole group rather than the interest of a single employee. Similarly, the employee should also protect the interest of the organization and consider his interest subordinate. If the organization prospers, automatically the employee will also prosper. Next one, principle of centralization. Centralization refers to the concentration of power or authority. In some organization, this power is vested in one hand or few hands. This situation occurs in the small organization. But if the size of the organization is large, then centralization becomes difficult. Then there is decentralization of power of authority. The power is given to different people. For example, in large organizations, there are departmental heads or managers handling different tasks or line supervisors. According to this principle, there must be proper balance between centralization and decentralization in the organization. This is to be done according to the size of the organization, nature of the activity, etc. Over here, I have given you an example of decentralized organization and centralized organization. Under decentralized organization, you will find managers. Why? Because it is a large organization and the division managers report to the president. Whereas in the centralized organization, you have the president and he is directly seeing the divisions. That is because it's a small organization. The next one is principle of remuneration. This principle states that employees must be paid a fair wage for their services. While paying remuneration, the skills, expertise, knowledge, tenure, etc. of the employees should be taken into account. When the employees are paid fair remuneration, they show greater productivity and give more output. The remuneration should be fixed by taking into consideration the skills, expertise, knowledge, tenure, cost of living. The next one is principle of scalar chain. Scalar chain means the hierarchy of authority from the top level to the lower level for the purpose of communication. Traditionally, organizations use a frame large scalar chain which is time consuming. For example, a general manager informs the decision to the functional manager. Functional manager will pass it on to the supervisor. The supervisor will inform it to the foreman and so on according to the level of authority. For avoiding this longer chain and to take speedy decisions, cross communication or direct communication is followed by various organizations, which is known as gangplank. Gangplank is a technique of shortening the route of communication, which is usually followed through all channels of hierarchy. Over here we see the upward communication and the downward communication, which takes a long time. Fayol'S suggests that in case of emergencies, by jumping the prescribed line of authority, these officials could deal with one another and sort out several problems quickly. In the diagram, the communication between C and 3 should flow through proper hierarchy, but to avoid delay or in emergency situations, there will be a direct communication. This is termed as gangplank. Now we go to the next one, that is principle of order. This principle is based on a place for everything and everything in its place. It means that there must be proper arrangement of material. It must have right place. Similarly, there must be a proper placement of personnel. They must be appointed to do right work at right job at a right place. This principle emphasizes on the proper utilization of physical and human resources. Next principle is principle of equity. This principle is about fair and equal treatment to all employees. Managers should be kind and fair to all subordinates. There should not be any discrimination between employees. For example, the employees working on the same level but in different departments should be paid same wages. The wages should not depend on the department but the level at which they are working. While distributing work between people and the department, this principle should be followed by the manager. As far as possible, there should be equal division of work. This avoids conflicts in the organization. Next is principle of stability of tenure. While appointing an employee, the manager should assure the stability of tenure or job security to the employee. This creates a sense of belonging among the employees. There should not be any uncertainty in the minds of the employees regarding the stability of job. Insecurity in job always affects the efficiency of employees adversely, whereas job security minimizes employee turnover ratio. Next is principle of initiative. Initiative refers by taking the first step. It also means thinking of new ideas. According to this principle, the manager should encourage the employees to take initiative. The employees should come up with new ideas and the manager should welcome the ideas. This approach helps the organization to grow. It also creates a sense of belonging about the organization in the minds of the employees. And the last one is principle of Std Xii, that is team spirit. It means union is strength. Management is a group activity. Human resource is a great aspect of the organization. The manager should create a spirit of teamwork among the employees. Managers should build a sense of togetherness among the employees. If the managers work with unity, the goals can be achieved easily. Therefore, as a leader, manager should create a spirit of teamwork and understanding among the employees. I hope you have understood all the 14 principles of management. Let's revise all the 14. First one, division of work. Second, authority and responsibility. Third, discipline. Fourth, unity of command. Fifth, unity of direction. Sixth, subordination of individual interest to organizational interest. Seventh, centralization. 8, remuneration. 9, scalar chain. 10, order. 11, equity. 12, stability of tenure. 13, initiative. And the last 14 principle is Std Xii. Thank you.